Hey everyone! Also, good day to you, ma'am. My name is Lepon, and today, akong i-discuss ang introduction as well as the section 1 for our reporting for Group 7, which is entitled The Teacher and the Community, Teachers' Ethical and Professional Behavior. But before we explore unsa din ni among report all about, let's first discover unsa day ang learning outcomes nga among target nga ma-achieve namo with our lesson for today. So at the end of this discussion, we should be able to elaborate on communities' expectations from teachers and on teachers' expectation from communities. So we are all aware man jud nun na communities have set expectations sa ato na future educators, and also kita pod na future educators na putay expectation pod sa community pod nato. So muna atong i-explore karon. And next is, we're gonna be describing teachers' ethical and professional behavior in the community by giving concrete examples. So, diri pod nato mahibawaan nga kita din mga future educators, we have ethical responsibility and professional behavior nga dapat nato i-uphold, and we'll be able to understand that more because we'll be exploring through different examples nga atong ma-discover karon sa kaning lesson. So, more na siya ato ang learning outcomes. So, let's go on to the next slide. So, the next slide, naadri mga quotations. So, my question is, agree ba mo sa kaning mga quotations? So, atong basahan una, unsa man yung mga quotations nga naadri. So, first, as you can see in the slide, naatay first quotation, teachers change the world one child at a time. Agree ba mo, ana? So, move forward ta sa ikaduha. So, teachers, I believe, are the most responsible and most important members of society because their professional efforts affect the fate of the earth. Muna atong kaduha nga quotation. Ang atong ikatulo kay, every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. And our last quotation na atadri, the influence of a good teacher can never be erased. So now the question is, nganong ako maning gipakita sa inyo ha ang kaningang mga quotation, and why did I even ask kung agree pa mo ani nga mga quotations? So ato pa dyan nang ma-discover nganong kang naani nga mga quotation, no? So ato ni siyang ma-discover, ato ni siyang ma-relate pagyud sa atong lesson for today. And so, to formally start jud atong lesson, unsa jud ini about jud ay. So, di ba giingon naman ako nga teachers' ethical and professional behavior. Asam ta mag-base ana? So, mag-base ta ani sa Code of Ethics for Professional Teacher, Article 3. Now, basin na yung mga na, anong Article 3 naman? Asa man ang 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. So, nganong ang kanirang mang Article 3 sa Code of Ethics for Professional Teacher ang atong i-explore. Because Article 3 explores the role of the teacher and the community, which is the core or one of the cores of our Ed 228. So, mo na siyang Article 3 ra atong i-discover for today's reporting. So, this very title of this discussion indicates that teachers are expected to be part of the community. So, dili pasabot nga, teacher ta, di na part sa community. No, we are expected to be part of the community because saan na ito pagtudlo when we don't know our community, when we are not part of our community. So, to be part of the community definitely means to participate in the life of that community. We need to take part on their experiences on unsa day ay ang naaana ang community para pod kita future educators makatulo ta og tarong dito sa kanang community. Pero the question is, unsa man yung community nga sig balik-balik diri? What is that community referred to here? So, diri sa 8 sections, 8 sections ra ni diri sa Article 3 of the Code of Ethics refers to the community within the school and outside the school. So, di ba nakainomdom mo na sa previous mga reportings, gi-mention dito nga school o community, diba? Diba gi-separate siya. Pero sa atong lesson karon, masabtan nato nga community also exists inside the school as well as outside the school. So, mao na ang community nga giminya diri gibalik-balik og mention ang community. Now, how can teachers be a part of the community? So, muna na ang question karon, how? How can we teachers be a part of the community? So, the various sections of Article 3 gives more details. So, diha na ta. Magsugod na ta og explore. Unsa tining nga balik na sa din ako. Section, mga 8 sections, Article 3. Unsa man day naaani. What can this article give us? Especially to us nga future educators. Unsa di ang mahatag ani? So, ready na mo? start ta sa ato ang section 1. So, unsa may naa sa section 1? Section 1, it refers to teachers as facilitator of learning. Siguro familiar na sa ato no? Facilitator. Kay baon na taon sa ng facilitator, di ba? Gibalik-balik na sa ato. Pero, ato unang sabton, nganong naaman ni sa section 1. Section 1 pa dyan, pinakauna pa dyan sa article 3. So, basaw sila to, unsay nakasulod ay sa section 1. So, section 1, a teacher is a facilitator of learning and of the development of the youth. He shall therefore render the best service for providing, an environment conducive to such learning and growth. So, karon ato nang nabasahan, di ba? Ato sa makita sa slide kung unsa na ang section 1. So, let's remember this 3 keywords, no? So, we have the first one, facilitator of learning. Muna una. Ikaduha is render the best service. When can we say it's the best service? And the last one is providing an environment conducive to learning and growth. So, ato pa dyan ang ma-explore. Nganong imo malas na nagipatimaan sa mga racial? Because we will be exploring on those. So, we're gonna start with, of course, facilitator of learning daw ta. So, let's understand. Kaya ba naman taon sa facilitator, no? Pero let's understand it more this time. So, facilitator comes from the word facilitate. Facilitate, which means to make something easy or easier, di ba? So, ikita po as a teacher, we understand, student masad ta, di ba, na ato yung goal. Taon sa nato siya sa view sa teacher, di ba? When we teach something, atong goal is dili man mas malisdan ang bata, di ba? Our goal is to make them understand that concept easier. Atong i-break down ang mga complex concepts and ideas para mas dali mahibawaan sa mga bata, mas dali nila masabtan og labi na jud mahinumduman. That is what facilitator means. Now, as a professional teacher, we or you are tasked to facilitate the learning or make learning easier. Gibalik-balik yun na we are tasked. That is one of our tasks. Actually, top dyan na nato nga priority na we need to make things easier for the students. No, kay ba man dyan na learning, sometimes it's hard. Pero, muna ato hanggo dyan, that's why it's important kita, we facilitate the students. We guide them. Ato sila itulo kung, okay, dili ta mo agi kay mas masayunan ka diri. Dili ta didto kay lisod. So, man siya. So, again, learning is a difficult task. No one says na sayon makaton, di ba? Of course, if we are learning basics, of course, from the word itself, basics, some of those concepts are simple. But as we go through the next level, kay makita na to nga, ay, lisod na siya. So, wala sa nato gi-ignore, di ba? Ang fact na learning can be difficult. It is a difficult task. But it is made easier when when you make dry lesson. So again, no, nakat kanya, I'm very sorry. So we are aware naman nun na learning is difficult, but again, it is our task to make it easier. How can we make it easier? When we make dry lessons interesting, exciting, and enjoyable. Diba? So, dyan na ito makita na yes, there are really na-legit parts sa learning, alisod, but it is also important for us teachers to also remember na learners can learn fast and better actually if they're having fun, if they're enjoying what they're doing, what they're learning, if they are interested with what they're learning. Mupod na itong ibutang pod sa ato ang apong learning process pod para ato pong mag-guidean ang mga bata. Di lang ito magsige, okay, what is the value of X, what is the value of Y, ana. Ato pod silang tagaan na to silang mga motivational activities or activities in between the lesson to keep their interest at high level good para di sila ma-bored o para pod ma-enjoy nila ang process pod sa learning, diba? Sumusod dyan na atong goal. Then, as a professional teacher, so we make learning easier muna siya when we simplify the complex and concretize the abstract. So, budyo na atong timanan atong i-simplify ang mga complex ideas ug ato pong i-concretize ang mga abstract. Ato yung ipakita, ipasabot sa ila kung unsa jud ang ilang kailangan masabtan. We will facilitate their learning from the beginning till the end. Di ato sila biyaan halfway, diba? Kay ma-shock niya na sila like, uy, okay, unsa man ni ako bata na ni teacher. So, muna siya. So, this is what is ethical for every professional teacher. So, we all know what it means to be ethical. So, now we understand na, okay, ako din yung dapat ikaw sa teacher, imong ma-realize nga, okay, ako din yung tamaan nga, dapat jud, ako jud tabangan ng mga bata, ako jud silang i-guide, I have to make things easier for them, dili na ako ilisod, para sila, para, ganing, kay, kung ato man yung palisdan, kita mo sa gyapon mo yung mag-antos, di ba? Kay, dugay nila mag-get, so pasabot ka, pila ni mo balik-balikon. And then, of course, mo reflect pod na sa ilang learning, di ba? So, mo sa na to ang timaan pod. We need to facilitate the learning of the student. So, another concept na po, let's go to the next slide. So, the next slide, it says, to facilitate learning, o di ba na ato nang na-explain unsa na ang what it means to facilitate, what it means to, when we say facilitator of learning, na-explain, gibalik-balik jud na siya, di ba? So, I hope you guys got the idea unsa jud na ang facilitator of learning, and I also believe na ato na pong nakuha ang ikaduha nga akong gigon sa inyo atong key terms, which is render the best service. So next is let's understand unsa dinhi ang conducive environment, no? So di ang gi-explain na a conducive learning environment is necessary. When we say necessary, kailangan jud na siya. Pero ngano ka kailangan? I'm sure na may idea, pero ano sang i-explain ngano ka? So it has been proven that learners learn best in a pleasant environment. So when we say conducive learning, unsa yung conducive learning? What do you mean pleasant environment? What makes an environment pleasant? Diba? So, dahan tag mga factors nga atong ma-explore na. So, iyan ang gikon diri. A pleasant environment is where the learner can be themselves because teachers are caring. So, we need to understand we are facilitator of learning, but not just academically. We need to be there. We need to be present at all times. We also need to connect with our students. We also need to make them feel like themselves, to let them know that we care. Not just academically, but we connect to them personally. Kaya nga naman, the moment we connect to them personally, the moment we get to know our students better, then ito ma-realize nga, ay, usbunti ko niya ako ang kanang ako ang pagtudlo because it's not working sa iya ha. Diba makatabang sa ato kay mas maila na to ang students. O pod, ang students pod, dili pod siya like stiff nga, wala na si ma'am. No, mag-behave na jud ko, diba? Lahi man gud ang students is komportable siya nga, ala na si ma'am makatuna sa ko ani kay si ma'am minaw gud siya mo may siya mo tudlo, dili ko makuyawan nga magkurog-kurog na ko diri dapita. So diba ang mga bata is, they are free to express themselves. They are free to ask questions. Di sila mahadlok na, ala, kumutan ako kay ma'am, baka saban siguro ko ani ni ma'am, di ba? Pero, kung atong i-provide sa mga bata is an environment, a conducive environment, they'll just ask questions. Labi na kung curious gid sila, labi na kung confused sila, dili sila mahadlok mangutanan because they know that you care. They know nga mo answer ka. So, mao na siya. Now, we don't need to put the best self forward because teachers and classmates truly care and take care for who you are. And now, all forms of bullying has no place in a conducive learning environment. So, wala dyan na. Bullying is strictly not allowed. I guess every one of us are already aware naman dyan na bullying is not allowed dyan. Kaya nga naman, ang learning magud sa bata, makuan magud siya, muhinay siya ba, and unfortunately, sometimes, mahunong yun siya na dyan mga bata nga mo undang na lang because of bullying. So, kita pod, as, again, ibalik ko na sa nako, when we talk about being facilitator, it's not just when we are teaching, when we are giving them concepts or lessons, it's also bisag sa mga time nga wala ta nag-teach, diba? Ato sang i-ensure nga ang classroom, kung asa nag-study ang. So, muna akong gi-mention na tanan, wala, all forms of bullying, verbal, written, o sa physical, is not allowed. Kaya na ta nga, di na siya maayo ang epekto niya. Magamay man or madako, all forms of it, dili dyan siya allowed. Kaya nga naman, dili naman siya conducive kung nanay bullying, di ba? And next, a conducive learning environment makes learner believe they can do the work and they feel accepted. We encourage the students nga, I know learning can be difficult but you can do it. No, that's our role. Muna importante sa jud na we get to connect with our students, no? Na ato sang i-encourage everyday na yes, dong kay ba ko lisod jud ang math, kay ba ko lisod ang English, ang science, and many other subjects, but you can do it. And you can make mistakes along the way. That's fine. we are not expecting our students to be perfect because we are not perfect as well. The thing is, our role is to facilitate, to guide our students, to make them feel accepted jud na they can do it jud, they can be the best version of themselves jud. And a favorable learning climate is not competitive where everyone is tense nga murag hala kanang dapat perfect jud ni, dapat inani na kay ngano man dili raman sad ang atong concern man gud sa learning, dili raman jud na from teacher to student. It is also important for students to have a good relationship with their classmates. Karon kung ibutang nato nga competitive na kaya mga bata, ay di na to makita nga pwede jud mosulod dira ang bullying, no, labi na mag-compare na og scores, which is di jud siya, again gibalik-balik na jud na nga all forms of bullying is not allowed. So it's important to provide students a learning environment na they can be themselves, they can make mistakes, that's fine, you can improve the next time, okay ra jud kay na dili sila tense. Because again, balik ko na to sa idea nga learning should be exciting, enjoyable, and what else sa tong usa, interesting pa din akong nagsige na sila compete diha, di ba? Di na ta kaingon nga interesting kisa may ma-enjoy kung tanan na lang ng mga estudyante nimo ay stiff na jud kay nga hala dapat perfect kun jud kani, dapat halos tanan nimong estudyante ana, di ba? Dili asa naman ang enjoyment diha, di ba? So muna atong timaan jud nga kita as a teacher or future educators, nag-eskwela pa man dayta, no? So, future educators, teacher na ta, atong timanan nga, atong role yun is to facilitate the learning of the student, not just academically, but also mentally, personally jud. Ato silang i-guide through that. Because, school, again, kapila dyan na to ni nadunggan, school is the second home of the students. So it is important for us teachers to make them feel at home, to make them feel accepted, that they can be themselves. You can make mistakes, that's fine. I can teach you, I can guide you, I will facilitate your learning. So mao na siya. So do you still remember katong upat ka kanang quotation? So di na to masud sa kaning first section na ang usa atong nga mga quotation, which is every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists they become the best they can possibly be. So diyan na ito makita na every child deserves that kind of adult. Every child deserves that kind of teacher. The kind of teacher that won't limit their potential, but the kind of teacher who discovers their potential, guide them through to help them grow, improve that potential. Na ilan ang magamit the moment they step out of the school. They step out of the school. Kaya naman, they deserve that. They deserve someone who understands the power of connection. Gibalik-balik ko ni, we need to connect with our students. We need to really encourage them that they can be the best they can possibly be. They can improve, they can be better. So, muna atong role as a facilitator of learning. So, that is what Section 1 is all about. So, Section 1 pa lang nahanap, ay Section 2 to 8. So, na nato ma-realize nga, Teacher Day, it goes beyond teaching kanang concepts. It goes beyond teaching what is noun, what is verb, what is the value of y, how to multiply, how to divide. No, it goes beyond that. No, we provide them a second home. A home where they can be comfortable, where they grow, where they become a better version of themselves. And also as teachers, future educators, we need to always remember that we are here not just to give grades, not just to rate their performance, but also to help them improve their performance, also to help them improve their grades. We are there to facilitate from the beginning to the end. That is our role as a teacher. I'm sorry, nalipong nako. So that is our role as a teacher. So, muna na siya ang section 1, and I hope you guys understood. And yes, so napatay section 2 to 8. So stay tuned. Char. Dili ka ng let's just always remember what our role as a teacher. And yes, that will be all. Again, this is Rachel Pilipon, and thank you so much guys for listening, and goodbye, good day.